populist,
Hola.
extreme, anti-systemic,
Nakakalungkot
illiberal
ako.
political
May
parties.
busy
The
that
level of
day.
support has never, as I was saying, been as high in the whole history of
I'm
Europe
searching
since the beginning of the
for
20th
battery.
century,
I
to the
brought
point that
battery.
around one
That's
fifth of the
for
electorate
one of
nowadays
the
supports
clocks. The watches.
electorally this kind of anti-political
But I
establishment
only brought two.
parties.
So
And
what's in
this
my
is a
bag at the
trend
same time?
that we
Because
can
I saw a
see
very nice
not
what's in my bag. It
just
makes me
in the
want.
new democracies of
Uh,
Eastern Europe, but
and
also
the
in
bag was
especially Southern Europe. You
vintage.
can
It
see
doesn't have
here
any
in this
brands,
table
but it's so
after the
nice.
Great Recession, the level of support for this type of
So
populist anti-establishment parties
what's
was
this?
higher than ever, but also among the
Umbrella.
most consolidated democracies of Western Europe. The thing
Olive oil
is this really a problem?
and perfume at the
Is
same
this
time.
really a
This is what
cancer
I
of
meant by olive oil,
democracy?
perfume,
Is this
scarf,
really leading to the decline on
sacred.
the quality of democracy and the collapse of our democracies?
I like these
It may well be
sweet
that
ears
in,
of grandpa
at least within
because
the
it
European
has
Union, only
purpose.
Hungary has become
I want grandpa to
non-democratic,
come in
but
office and
clearly
answer
there is a
purposes.
link between support
Mm,
and voting for
radio,
populist
but
parties and
almost
establishment
zero
parties and the
from
quality of
tiny snow
democracy.
because yesterday was
In a study
rainy.
that I published
Couldn't go
at
out. I have brought it
representation
both
in
and
the
I brought it
representation journal with a colleague
on.
from the University,
So a bit of
Autonomous
shampoo. I
University
need
of
to
Madrid, Jose
save
Rama,
shampoo
in
time to time
2020,
to see if I have
we
different
show
coins. I
that
buy
there is a
sachet,
clear
shampoo
negative
sachet.
and significant
I don't want to
relationship
put the name ones and
between
it's kind
support for anti-political establishment
if
parties and
anyone
the
noticed
quality of
that I don't
democracy.
actually
You
want
can
to put
see
anyone.
here that it doesn't matter if we look at Western Europe or at Eastern
I only
Europe.
want to put in grandpa.
The more support for anti-establishment parties, the more support for populist,
These are
illiberal,
all
and
cheap
systemic
lipstick and
parties, the
sometimes
lower the
most of the
quality of
times I
democracy is.
combine like for example I
In
use this
fact,
for
it does not even
eyeshadow
matter if we look at
or this one
different
for eyeshadow
dimensions
or this
on the
one for
quality of
eyeshadow and
democracy.
almost zero.
Here, using BDEM
All of them almost
Institute
zero.
data,
Completely
we
zero. This
distinguish
and
the
this
effect of supporting for
La
anti-establishment
Plaza
political
Marina
parties and different dimensions of
Madrid
democracy.
and
Electoral democracy,
Oriflame from
liberal
Sweden, but
democracy,
already zero, so
deliberative
only
democracy,
using the
participatory and
mirror because the
egalitarian
mirror is
democracy.
nice, like
Of course, the
perfectly
first
round.
might be, different, but they all
The
point
marina
to a clear
smells
conclusion.
vintage
Support
feelings.
for populist, illiberal, anti-systemic,
But
and
I still need
establishment parties
sunscreen, so when I
leads
have
to
money, I'm going
lower
to
quality
upgrade.
democracy. Doesn't
Lucky I don't
matter
need to go
the
out
dimension we
that
look
much.
at. So the thing is, yes,
Vitamin D,
a problem.
B12.
As I mentioned, nobody people voted for anti-democratic, at least against liberal democracy
The
parties
Chinese
that before. We know that this has
rectal.
important negative consequences for the quality of
There's
democracy. The question
guide
is,
all
what is causing this problem?
hair
Only
mist.
by understanding what causes
I
the
think
problem,
it has
we can try to find
three people
solutions
and
to
we
the
call it
problem.
a skeleton.
When we look
Like
at the
three people.
literature, we
And
see, of course, that
this
economy has been
eyebrow
considered to be
and
one of the
brush.
problems
All of them are the
that,
cheap
or one
ones.
of the issues,
I
sorry,
bought
that
them in
leads
Shopee.
to the increasing level of support
And
for
these already
anti-political
zero, but
establishment
I like
parties.
to bring it
It is
because
this
it has
idea
given
that
you
when people are having a harsh time, they will be
star.
more,
Charm from
the
Japan.
attention will be more captured by those
I found
parties
it
that
recently.
offer
I mean, I
simple
forgot where
solutions
did I
to what are
put
really
it. I mean, I
complex
even
problems.
forgot that I have it in it when
Which
I
are those parties?
tried to find
Populist
something in
parties
luggage
and
and I found
establishment parties. Others
another hair
think
mist.
that
It's just
it
that
is at the
combination
core
between
of
sometimes
political parties
Lapica,
themselves
kiss
where the
spray or
problem is,
railways or
meaning
Morocco.
that it is the crisis of
Rain.
mainstream
Masih
traditional
benefit.
political parties
Masih benefit.
that has led to increase of support of populist
This makes the rain
anti-establishment
useful.
parties.
This makes the rain
There is this
useful. This
idea
makes the
that
rain
political
useful.
parties do not represent us anymore, that they have stopped mobilizing the electorate, that there has been a mutual
Coins.
withdrawal of
Not. I have
political
spins
parties and
for
voters
coins.
from the
So many
electoral arena.
pouches.
Clearly, we know that, for example,
And
people go to
6S
vote
as a
less, people
cable.
vote for different parties every time that go to vote. And, as I
And
mentioned at the beginning of this presentation, clearly they vote
I
for
still
those
don't have
parties that are
any
less democratic. And this is
balance
because
or
mainstream
normal
parties
routine
have
women's day yet.
different
Only when grandpa
public
came to
utility.
Indonesia, I had a
They have
very
become
full
entrenched in the state. They have
women's
become
women's day, but then
representative of the
he
state
needed to
rather
fly
than representative of the
out
voters.
to
And of
Morocco.
course,
I was so
voters
sad,
have
of
hoped
course, parents
for
is
a different option,
pretty soon
which are
grandpa
those of populist parties that consider themselves
pick me up.
to be the
Maybe
representative of the people,
sunglasses
the
from.
representative of their people.
I
This
like
affair
frogs, but I don't
school
like
of thought
frogs or any kind of
that
animals
considers that it is
being
social
used
change
as
that has led
other
to the increasing
or
level of
for
support for
like
anti-establishment political parties.
it's
It is
supposed
this
to put the
idea
key
that
in the
cleavages are
the
fading
key
away, that
busy
the process of globalization and
key
secularization
luggage and showing kids
eliminate
like our
the class
belief
cleavage and the
open
religious cleavage that
earlier
tend to
doing
determine
the
the
voice
way
in my
political
back
parties
last week.
relate and voters vote.
Beanie Bag
And this is
was
why
book
new parties are needed to represent
for the
these new
pictorial
sectors
ones.
of society
Basement.
and the
Today we
new
haven't
interests
read any
among
these
both.
key reading.
Finally, of course, it is the
Check.
idea
Actually,
that the
receipts.
Great
The last
Recession, the
receipts I wrote
2008 crisis,
was in
came to destroy
2021
the stability
for
of European power
vegetable
systems,
shop.
not only,
You know, but
and of course
because the
led
others I don't
to
need
a
to give
social,
them.
political,
And then these
not only
I got the
economic
receipts
and
I was
financial
buy.
crisis that blew up
This
the
time
stability
I
of the
bought the
systems
vegetables.
and
I mean
opened the space for
the others
these
I got the receipts
populist
direct
and
with them,
political
for example,
establishment
from the
parties
convenience
to
store,
attract
Alphamart,
the
Indomart,
elect. In
shopping
another
everywhere.
study that I published at the European Political Science
Issue I
Review
need to
with
collect
my
this
colleague
sometimes
Rama in
because
2020, we look at this issue, we control for different factors,
I like
and
being
then we
clean.
find that
So
economy
this
is
lately
not
sometimes
what has been determined,
most of the times
the
when I do
increasing
not
support for
process any
establishment
tissues,
parties, but rather
I
the
cut
crisis
the
of
popping
political
clothes from
parties
my own
and
old clothes. So
changes within society.
I
We
keep
use
forgetting to buy a big
fermentation, the economic electoral parties, to really capture the crisis
plastics
of parties,
for
the idea that the more the
when
parties in the system,
moving
the
from
more
aqua
number
to
of new
e
parties in
ice
the
most
system,
of the time.
clearly captures
I
the
need
crisis
this
of
for
mainstream political parties.
as
And on the other hand,
blue
we use
because
institutional elections of
red.
electoral volatility to
Red.
look at changes in the
This one
electoral
meant that when
preference
it's the
that
red
are determined by
happens, either
changes in
me
society.
or grandpa.
We need, as I mentioned,
This
control
one
for
is sad.
factors,
I mean,
sociological
also a
factors,
blessing.
institutional factors,
But when
even
it
the age
becomes
of
very
democracy.
heavy,
And we clearly see that it is the
it's the
increase in the
cover
level
of
of fermentation and the increase of volatility,
lotion.
meaning the increase
I need
in
to renew
the
my
prices of
version,
political
but I
parties
don't
per
have
se and
enough
this
balance
cultural
yet
change
in the
that has led, as you can see
for
clearly
this
in this
either
graph,
Shopee or
to
bank
an
account.
increasing level of support for
I
political
tend to have
establishment
cash this
parties.
like Find
Moreover,
it! Let's see is
and
it
we
big
test
person.
also the theory about the big crisis, the Great Recession.
And the
We look
cover
even
of
at the
marker and
effects
I
of
keep
another
one
important
of the
economic
ones.
crisis, the Great Depression in 1920. We find that the Great Depression did not have an
Last
effect
time or
in
long
the
time
level of
ago,
support for
where is
anti-establishment
the key?
parties. The 2008 Great Recession, as you
I
can
gave
see
the
in
seed
this
of dates
graph,
to the kiosk lady and
acted
then I
not
said
so
I will
much
give
as a
them
cost per se of
olive
the increase in
seed
support
if
for anti-political
it grows,
establishment
but I don't
parties,
think it
but
grows.
as a
In fact,
trigger,
it was
as a
used
fuel
instead
to
for
the
the
fire
political
of the
purpose.
crisis of parties and social change. You see in this
Stationery.
graph on the left that before the Great Recession was already an increase in the fermentation
I have
of
those.
European power
Yay.
systems.
Okay, let's
And of course, there was already the crisis of political parties
I'm
candidates
going to put
even
these on.
before the
I have
21st
another
century. But it is
bag
only
for
after the Great
wallet.
Recession that this crisis
I'm
becomes
also washing
more important. And
because
of course,
I need to
leads,
put
as we know, to
passport
the
with the chips
increasing
there, so
level
I
of
put the
support for
wallets with
parties.
cards also there.
The
So
same
let's
we
be
can
happy.
see on the
Don't see me
right
tea,
graph
but
where there is a bit of an increase in electoral volatility before the Great Recession, but it simply explodes after the Great Recession, leading, of course, to the increasing support of anti-political establishment parties. So it is not so much the cause